Yeah, 0801. Yeah, it's bringing back.
When she looks at the pictures of her son's life, the smiles come easily to Sparla McCann.
That's a good picture.
Yeah.
I really like that one.
I can't even believe how much time we have been together.
Yeah, I know.
Her best friend, Joelle De Raaf, can share in the memories too because their two families and sons are so often together in the pictures.
All those boys have the best eyes, I swear. Oh, Rory.
Rory McCann had what any kid would want: siblings who were close, family vacations, Calgary's Bow River nearby for the fishing that he loved to do.
My little fisherman.
Yeah. Oh, loved that sport. And he had the patience for it. I don't know how sometimes, but he did.
He did.
Ambitious, an adventurous spirit, and a tight bond with his buddies that carried him through high school graduation. But over the years, no one was closer to Rory than Joelle's son Corbin. Always together, always challenging each other, and during the teenage years, daring each other to try harder and harder drugs. The most recent was the worst of them all: fentanyl.
Did you ever suspect fentanyl?
No, I had no idea. No.
When were you first aware that he had used fentanyl?
The day he died. I had talked to him about fentanyl for sure when one of our friend's son had overdosed for the second time, and Rory, absolutely, Mom, I would never take that drug. I would never do it. I am more of an upper guy. I would do the cocaine. That's in my past. I would never do fentanyl. And I just believed that.
When you hear about fentanyl now, what do you think?
There's something to be said about this drug because it is lethal. It's either going to be your life sentence or it is your death sentence. And that's it. Stay away from this drug.
It will kill you.
It'll take
Maybe
your life.
you'll get lucky a couple times. Rory didn't get lucky.
Not even once.
Not even once.
These are the pills, which are devastating families like Sparla and Joelle's. Manufactured by organized crime to look like the prescription painkiller OxyContin with its telltale stamp. But these fake oxys are far more potent. They've been laced with fentanyl powder, obtained illegally from Chinese labs. Legal fentanyl is an extremely potent painkiller used to manage chronic pain. It's administered cautiously by patch because getting too much too fast can kill you. Sergeant Martin Chiavata of Calgary's police force says any one of these tablets can also contain too much fentanyl powder.
You never know. You're playing Russian roulette with your life every time you take a tablet.
If we take a bag this size, what are the chances that there's one tablet in that is enough to kill you?
I'd say it's pretty good. I think we've all made chocolate chip cookies at home and realized that there's going to be cookies on that sheet that are going to have hot spots, more chocolate chips. If you take a hot spot tablet, you're dead.
So it's a good bet that somewhere in there is that tablet that if somebody took it, thinking it was oxy, it would kill them.
Yes.
Rory McCann was one of 45 Calgarians who accidentally took that lethal dose of fentanyl in the first 6 months of 2015. Province-wide, 145 Albertans were killed by it over the same period. Dr. Mark Urema is an emergency doc in Calgary.
And is the patient a regular user of opioids?
And runs the province's poison crisis hotlines.
This year, it's off the charts. It is by far and away the worst epidemic that I've seen in the 6 years that we've been here.
So is it at the point now where fentanyl overdoses are the leading kind of overdose that you're seeing?
Yes.
And as a poison, where would you rank fentanyl?
Well, to put it in perspective, fentanyl is 50 to 100 times more deadly than morphine, and even about 5 to 15 times more deadly than heroin. So it doesn't get worse than that.
1847.
Constable Kevin Cullen says fentanyl overdoses are now happening almost daily in Calgary. He got called to one a few months ago that he will never forget.
Call came in from EMS. It came in as a medical collapse. The young man had obviously been vomiting through the night, so there was quite a lot on his face and his chest. So they had problems getting an airway.
Was he breathing on his own at that point?
No, he wasn't breathing.
He wasn't breathing at all?
No, not conscious, not breathing.
I mean, it sounds like it was incredibly intense.
Oh, it's unbelievably intense. And honestly, until you've heard the cries of a mother who's just lost her son, you've never heard nobody crying before.
It's a different sound.
Oh, yeah, it chills you to the bone. It really does.
I had a model son. I honestly did, and everybody told me that. My family, girlfriend said, you know, Connor's a great guy. He never caused any problems at all. He was just a very good boy.
In 2013, Connor Clark was among the first in Alberta to die accidentally from taking a fentanyl pill his friends say he thought was OxyContin. His smartphone texting trail shows that he was looking for only one pill the day his lifeless body was found in his bedroom by his sister.
That pill was fentanyl. It was same shape, same color, easily mistaken. He assumed it was what he was getting, and it happened quickly as far as we know. He just fell asleep and didn't wake up.
A single pill took him.
Yeah, single pill.
It has taken Yvonne 2 years to work up the strength to share this story. As far as many of her friends knew until right this minute, Connor's heart simply stopped one day.
So why have you chosen to admit now that he was an addict and that it was fentanyl that killed him?
In 2 years, it has escalated terribly in the city. I just want to get an awareness to the parents. Maybe I can help them see what I didn't see. Connor can't speak. If he were here today, he would speak. So I'm speaking for him. I'm his words. Don't even try.
Locating the fentanyl powder to manufacture a killer pill is as easy as typing in "purchase fentanyl powder" into a search engine. Dozens of websites pop up offering it. We tried this one, which advertised a sale on fentanyl powder. 5 grams for under $2,150 US. Now that's an atomic bomb level of opiates, which the site claims can be shipped to you by mail. What doesn't arrive by mail arrives by ocean. Fentanyl powder hidden in Chinese-made things like electronics and car parts, and then offloaded on British Columbia's coastline. From here, every and any criminal gang is eager to claim and process it, because the financial incentive to move fentanyl is just as addictive as the drug itself. The RCMP in BC raided this home and discovered a fentanyl pill-making machine which could spit out 18,000 pills an hour. At $20 a pill, that would earn criminal gangs more than $250,000. And because fentanyl powder is so deadly, the cops take extraordinary precautions when handling it, demonstrating for reporters the suits to ensure that even fentanyl in the air doesn't threaten police. Joel De Raaf's son Corbin was so addicted to it, he hid the powder-laced pills in their home.
They hide it in their socks. They hide it in the registers. Corbin took the toe kick off in the bathroom in the cupboard.
It was all over your house.
It was in my house with little kids. When I think about that, it makes me really angry. It really does. He subjected his siblings to some very dangerous stuff.
And Corbin's buddy Rory McCann was also putting his family through hell. Sparla's gentle, loving son became violent with her.
Did he strike you?
Yeah. He had pulled me down the stairs and he was very violent. And it wasn't him. That wasn't who Rory was.
Rory's life ended as so many do, taking a pill, expecting to get high, and discovering too late it contained a deadly amount of fentanyl. Sparla's husband, Kelly, went into Rory's bedroom.
When he opened the door and turned on the light, he could obviously see that Rory was in very big distress and he had foam, vomit all over him. Of course, we all saw Rory in this state, and that's just something no one should ever have to.
Rory died of a fentanyl overdose that same day. Joel was desperate to find Corbin, who had been with his best friend earlier, but the police weren't hopeful.
They told us, this is not promising. We're probably not going to find your kid alive, and you need to be really prepared for this. And they looked for him high and low, and that another friend of ours kept saying, let's put this on Facebook, let's put this on Facebook. And finally I just said, whatever. 45 minutes later, he called me. We told him that Rory had passed that morning, and Corbin was probably really, really high. when I told him that. Pretty confident he was.
Does fentanyl feel like a monster to you?
Absolutely. It took my son. It's the devil. And what I would want to say to parents, to anyone, is that I've lost my son. Let me help save yours.
Next,
that monster just took over and I couldn't contain it.
into the dark depths of addiction,
Stealing, lying, cheating, everything.
but pulled back from the brink
Wow, we have our kid back.
when W5 continues.
They were the very best of friends. They did everything together, including drugs. And now one of them was dead from an overdose of fentanyl. Rory McCann died in January 2015. His friend, Corbin De Raaf's addiction, had created such pain, so much chaos to his family in Calgary, his mother Joelle just couldn't take it anymore.
It was a gong show that week, and that night I just said to him, I can't do this anymore. I'm out. He's like, I need help, Mom. I need big help.
So Corbin left Calgary and came here to Nanaimo, British Columbia to enter rehab to try to kick his addiction. It's been 9 months now. Corbin can finally talk openly about what he's put everyone through and how he's still struggling to stay clean from fentanyl.
To me, there's no other drug that could compare. It was the best feeling in the world.
What is that feeling?
I don't know if you've ever taken a hot blanket out of the dryer and laid down on the couch and just wrapped your whole body up in that hot blanket. That's the feeling you get, and your mind just goes blank.
And to you, that was pleasurable?
I don't know why it was pleasurable, but it just happened to sink in with me, and I just really like that. Because I feel like my mind already wanders and I overthink everything already. So it was nice to have a drug that I didn't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff, right? All I could do was just relax, finally.
He became dependent on fentanyl quickly, within weeks. And when it wore off, the withdrawal crippled him.
With opiates, your body is physically dependent on it. So if I woke up one morning and I worked at 8 and I didn't do a pill right at 6 o'clock, I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't even sleep through the night without waking up dope sick. And when you're dope sick, oh my God.
What's that, vomiting?
Vomiting, your legs hurt, you get what's called restless legs and there's nothing you can do about it. And you're just sweating and shivering and it's horrible.
But you kept going.
Yeah. I personally, once I started, I couldn't stop. There was something about myself that was I like this, I'm gonna keep going.
He gave up playing hockey, slacked off at school, withdrew from friends and family. And then his addiction started consuming his values.
All my morals went down the drain. I pushed everybody that cared about me out of my life, my family, whoever it was, right? I didn't have a relationship with anybody at the time. I didn't even have a relationship with myself. I was just so my only relationship was with these pills. And I couldn't stop it. I was full blown, deep down, stealing, lying, cheating, everything.
Even the fentanyl overdose death of his lifelong best friend, Rory McCann, couldn't penetrate his hunger for the drug.
It was enough to scare me to the point where it's okay, I need help. But it wasn't enough to scare me to the point where it's I don't know, I want to get help, I knew I needed to get help, but I didn't want the help at that time.
Even after the death of your best friend?
Deep down, I really wanted to get sober.
Intellectually, you did.
But I couldn't. I knew physically that it was impossible for me to get sober. I thought that I was so far gone already that I would never be able to get sober.
Have you ever wondered if you contributed to Rory's death?
Some days I blame myself for it, because I had been hanging out with him previously. But that night, I knew that I didn't play a part in it. It wasn't I ever forced him to do drugs. We did everything together, and we had always been bad for each other, right? We would just be here, try this, here, do this, or let's go do this. We definitely played a role in each other's drug use.
Played a role for sure, but in the end, it was fentanyl itself that had derailed their lives and created a dark hole neither could escape from. And now, with his best friend gone, Corbin had to face the truth about the pain their addiction had caused for both their families.
I didn't think it would affect my family. After Rory died, seeing his family and what they're and even today, what they're now, right? That's not something you just forget about.
So you actually couldn't scare yourself straight, but you could do it for Rory and his family.
I thought I was invincible, right? I didn't think I could die, but after seeing that, what happened in January, there's like, at the funeral, there's people telling me and my buddy, they're like, you guys are next. Like, your funeral is gonna be the next funeral we attend if you don't smarten up.
He did finally smarten up. At great expense, his parents sent him here to Edgewood, a private rehab center in Nanaimo. And for a while, it seemed to work. No more drugs. Corbin liked the tranquility of Vancouver Island. And it was a great relief for his family.
So you hoped you were in the clear?
Yeah, I'm well aware that relapse can be a part of recovery. I'm well aware of this, but he was doing well. He had just been home weeks prior for a home visit for 4 or 5 days. We had a great time with him. It's like, wow, we have our kid back.
But then one morning, after 5 clean months, the demon returned. He needed a fentanyl fix, and he could suddenly afford one. After getting an offer in the mail, he dropped into an Nanaimo bank, which was eager to give him a credit card with a limit of $6,000.
The day I got that credit card, I knew, like, as soon as it came in the mail and it was activated, that thought came in my mind, like, this is my back door to, like, if I ever want to relapse, right, it's there. This money it's here. I have this money. I don't need to worry about it, because I knew it would be expensive if I wanted to do it. It's like that angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other shoulder. This one got way bigger, and it just kind of like, it just took me out.
A whispering devil, a new credit card, and a desperate need. Corbin booked a flight to Calgary, called his dealer on arrival, and bought $2,000 worth of those little green fentanyl pills. He didn't go home, he checked into this hotel. He laid the pills out, crushed a handful, and then snorted the powder to get a faster high.
Do you remember how much you did that day?
6 pills in 2 hours. When I hadn't done them for 5 months prior to that, when I was sober for those 5 months, and then you do 6 pills, like, it's a death wish.
But you were just feeding the monster.
That monster just took over and I couldn't contain it.
I got a phone call, and I honestly was like, what? What do you mean Corbin's in Calgary? What do you mean you think he's relapsing? Calgary? Like, how did he get to Calgary? He's in Nanaimo.
One of my roommates here kept calling me, and I was like, listen, I screwed up, I relapsed. I'm in a hotel room in Calgary. And he called my mom. And then, like, I listened to the voicemail that my mom left me, and she's like, listen, I'm not mad. We understand, like, relapse is a part of recovery. Like, this happens to everybody. So I called her back.
I said, how much have you taken? And he said, I've had 4 pills, Mom. And I said, Corbin, you're overdosing. No, Mom, I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, you're not good. No, I am. I'm good. I'm not even itchy yet, Mom. And I said, I'm calling 911. Where are you?
I still had that I'm invincible type of mentality about me. I knew that once, like, it was like I was starting to go in and out of consciousness. I was like, this might be it.
It almost was, but paramedics arrived just in time to resuscitate him. And in an eerie echo of Rory's death, they rushed Corbin to the same hospital.
And when we walked in, they walked us in just like he's in the same trauma bed. He's in the same unit. They said the same things to us.
So Corbin was in the same unit, the same bed as Rory had been?
Same trauma unit.
Wow.
That time, Corbin escaped the monster. He went back to Edgewood, cleaned himself out again, and is now working in Nanaimo and living with a group of recovering addicts. But there is always that temptation, the siren call of fentanyl, the most powerful and addictive drug that's ever been seen on a Canadian street.
There are a lot of Canadians who live outside of British Columbia and Alberta who haven't experienced this drug yet. What's the thing that might have broken through to you that you can say to someone else?
It would have been like losing everything. Like, I see it all the time. I see these, like, kids coming from good families like myself who have everything, like, in a bright future ahead of them, and that all gets stripped away.
So you're saying touch this stuff, be prepared to lose everything.
To do this drug, you're gonna die. That's like, at this point now, it's so powerful and you don't even know if you're getting fentanyl anymore. It could be anything at this point, I don't even know, but you're gonna die. That's all I can say. There's no way around it. I don't care who you think you are, you're gonna die.